Hello everybody, this is Serpent, and welcome back to another episode in Dungeonstalker. Now, in the last episode, I know I said that we would be working on the spawners and loot for this thing, but I figure that that's probably the least interesting aspect of this map, so I'm probably going to try and save that all for... I'm probably going to try and do that off camera, or maybe just 2 maps in one episode or something like that. I'm going to try to limit the amount of time we spend doing that either way. So, I do actually, oddly enough, have an idea for what I want to be building today. And it's going to be fairly simple, which is nice, but it ought to produce a fairly neat effect. What I am trying to do is I'm going to... I always have a little bit of a dilemma. Do I want to tell you, or do I want to keep it a secret for a while? Let's see. Bit more. Okay, well, we'll start out by making a void room, essentially. A nice black room. And that should be done by doing /set air. And I think it'll take a minute, because that's a large area. Yeah, very large. Maybe too large. You can't see the bottom. Actually, that might be neat. That way the players won't know whether or not if they fall off they'll be falling to their death. Yeah. The more I think about it, the better that seems. Nice. Anyway. I also want the sides to be, how do I do this? Maybe black concrete, please? No. Let's see, what is it? It's 15, so concrete 15. It was wishful thinking. Concrete 15. There we go. And we shall do that with all of these, actually. It's going to take me a while to get up each time. Or not. Did it work? No, okay. Anyway, that. And we'll do it with this wall too. I won't do this one on camera, but you know, we'll be doing it for all of them. So we have a very, very large space. And you can't really tell from looking up here whether or not it falls into the void or just has a deep bottom, and that is pretty nice. I like that. So what we're going to do up here is put a roof on it, but I think I'll wait until I've put some other stuff in because I don't really want to be working in the dark. So say over here, maybe this spot. I can't tell if I'm close. Of course, that would happen if I used the compass. Can't tell if I'm close enough to punch it out. Okay. This is where we'll have the entrance. Right here. And, yep, good thing you can't see the bottom, although you might be able to if you perhaps turn the render distance up. But oh well. Set air. And I think there's... what is it? Ooh. Maybe stack 1? Yeah! I remembered. I'm so happy. I wasn't sure, but I thought that was the right command to copy something and extend it. World edit is great. So I just realized that I had my render distance set to 8, and now that I have it set to 16, I can see the bottom. But honestly, it doesn't really matter, does it? So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a bunch of white platforms just sitting around in the sky. And we're going to basically see if we can make a platformer game across the entire thing. I think that'll look pretty neat. Platformer game really isn't quite right to describe it. I can't tell if I'm close enough to the wall. But still. It should look pretty neat. I'm going to have it go from there over to here, and then maybe here somewhere. It punch. punch, 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 punch. Maybe here somewhere we will have another exit for some special loot. What I have so far now, it's not all that different from what I had before, is that entrance there, another one there, another one there, and another one way down there. And that is going to be the one that you're supposed to get to move on in the map, and then these two will be something different. I don't know what. Now though, I want to try and make the platforms. So right here, I'm going to set a block, just stone. I'm going to try and make a that's way too high. I'm going to try and make a platform that will be at well, I think I just want to start trying to make the platforms, the path, and I'm going to do that, of course, with the wand, and then I'm going to set them. You can see I was looking through the help, trying to see if I could make a cube. I'm going to set them to concrete, like that. And our path is going to be vaguely like that, although maybe I should make them all square. I think that might be a good idea. Yeah, that looks better. But of course I do need to actually get them to be the right places, to be in the right places. So let's try another one here. And ooh, I guess if I keep to a diagonal what is it, direction from it, I ought to get a square or nearly square object. So let's see if that theory works. That looks pretty square to me. So you can see that we are developing some sort of a pattern. I think probably the shapes ought to vary in height a little bit more, especially since we need to go down quite a lot. So maybe right here I'll put another stone and another one over here or something. Make it a big one. Pop. Poink. Boink. And concrete. Yep, that looks like another square. And the platform is looking good. Now what I've done here is I have planned out the path and I have done a little spiral staircase sort of thing down to the thing down there. Now I am aware that these are not very useful staircases, but that's kind of the point. They're not supposed to be. I might consider putting a thing around that. Yeah, that actually makes it look significantly better instead of just a white splotch on an otherwise black background. Let's see. I can't remember how I did it quite. Did it poke out multiple blocks? No. Poked out one block on each side and two in front. So yeah, like I said, these are not very useful pathways. You will have to be doing some bridging, but I'm not going to be putting many skeleton spawners into it. I might put a couple. I have to admit, the prospect tempts me. Let's see though. I want this one to be maybe about that size. I'm trying to vary the platform sizes. It's kind of difficult though because they're all the right size is very apparent. Concrete. So it's difficult for me. Whoa, how did I get that so wrong? Humph, that was supposed to be a square. I guess it wasn't that wrong. It just looked wrong because it wasn't a large area. Anyway, what I was saying was the right size is quite apparent to me, so it's hard for me to avoid using that. See, that one is exactly the same size as this one will be, and I don't want that, so I need to change its size. But if I make it much bigger, then it's the same size as that one, or that one. And if I make it too big, then it's just kinda worthless. Or kind of excessive. Let's see, is that in line? I think so. We'll try the excessive method. I would say that, I would argue that excessive is better than diminutive, so we'll try that. I do think we need to move this one out a little though, because I was assuming its position based on a smaller previous square. Alright, let's see. That was an 8 blocker, and an 8 placed blocks. Maybe I'll make it 10. See how that looks. And yeah, that's nice. It is a little different from that one too, which is also quite nice. Now, I am not liking that ladder. It's very, very obvious. It's very in your face. But I'm not entirely sure how to fix that, really. Because there aren't any white ladders. So, if we want to fix it, then either we're going to have to do a spiral staircase like this one all the way down, which I also think wouldn't look all that great. Or, a good idea that just came to me is we can go to it from over here, and then maybe we can even make that the end, although then you could just do a little bit of a ladder drop down the side and get to the end. So maybe that's not such a great idea, but we can definitely go to it from the other place. This is a ladder drop, by the way. Demonstration. You just fall down and place ladders as you go. And that would basically just get you to the end, which is not what you want in a CTM map. However, it would mean that you'd miss out on loot, so I don't know. Maybe it wouldn't be a good plan, even if people did do it. But I don't want the opportunity either way, so we'll not be doing that. Let's see, maybe about that big or a bit bigger. I'm sort of alternating in sizes. Generally, there's a small one in between each pair of big ones, and likewise vice versa. Let's see how that looks. Yep, I'm liking how this stage is feeling. It'll be it might, well, okay, I don't know. It might be better when we have a roof on. So perhaps we should just do that, and then I'll have to take off my night vision. So I didn't show it there because I apparently pressed the record key wrong, but I just crashed the game by putting a roof on this thing. So what I'm going to try and do is the same thing, but I'm going to do it slightly differently. Now, what I did there was I just did the roof all at once, and since Minecraft absolutely despises lighting updates, that was not a good idea. So I'm going to try and do this bit, and we'll see if that works. Uh-oh. Nope. Didn't like that either. Oh, okay, it worked. Good. So now I can just go along and every now and then do that. Right. Come on. I would have assumed that it helped a little bit that I'm using night vision. That way it doesn't have to update client side, but you know, I guess it doesn't matter. I wonder what the limit is. You know, I've done this before, the sort of thing where too much of it will crash the game, and then I always pass the threshold. So before we do that, let's save the game. Minecraft saves every time you press escape or go into the pause menu. And let's try and do something stupid. Let's go a little bit further than we ought to, or that we likely ought to, I suppose. Maybe it'll just run in the background, maybe? Or is that wishful thinking? Doesn't look happy. How about I reopen... Ooh, no. Aw, that's too bad. I think I've just crashed it again. The moment of truth. Will anything we just did be saved? Most of it ought to, because we did save it beforehand. Let's see. So that last move that we did was not saved, but everything we did before it was, so I'm okay with that. Could have been worse. Let's see. I'll go for a less ambitious that many blocks. And let's see if this one crashes. Although it might not have crashed if I had just oh, 0 block. Oh, right. It might not have crashed if I had actually used, if I hadn't stopped it halfway through by quitting the game. Well, the reason I did that was because in one of my testing worlds I did something similar where there were a lot of lighting updates, and when I quit the game and rejoined, the lighting updates updated and it didn't have to work as hard because it wasn't actively updating while I was in the game. Let's try and do the rest. Let's be a little risky. And pop. So I was hoping that would happen with this one too, but alas no. Since I guess it had to be placed as the lighting updates were happening. In fact, maybe the lighting updates happened before the blocks were placed, and that's why nothing happened. Because the way it worked before was I was using a fill command instead of world edit, so this is not looking good, by the way. The way I was doing it before was the fill command instead of the world edit, and that might work a little differently. World edit might update the lighting stuff and then place the blocks, whereas fill just places the blocks and then the lighting updates happen as a result. Unless I'm very incorrect. Watch the lag as I place this block back. Although actually we might not be able to see any lag. Oh no, impressive. when I was doing it earlier, there was a lot of lag. So let's effect clear. See how it looks without it. Now it ought to be pretty. Well, yeah. So that's the that's the lighting update stuff. Now if we leave and join again, it should actually work, right? Yeah. So it's not really happy with the massive update all at once, but if you leave and join again, then the updates are fixed. That's what I was doing earlier too. So that makes sense. Now, I do want to remove this thing, because we have come up with a better idea for getting down to there. So I'll just punch this out. And the ladder too. The ladders are fairly easy to remove, even though they're kind of difficult to place. It's interesting. Anyway, now we have that thing removed, so I'm going to give myself night vision again, because I can't really see anything without it. Big surprise. Although I think I probably want it for more than 30 seconds. Let's just put an infinite one. One more 0. There we go. Nope, that didn't work. What? Nah, it should work. Why isn't it working? Maybe it's something like that. Must be at most 1,000,000. That's what I did. But I should have an infinite night vision. I don't know. Maybe it's not overriding because I already had one on. Let's see. Effect AP clear. This is just me experimenting with commands, even though I probably ought not to. Yeah. Okay. Infinite. If anyone wondered how to make an infinite effect, that's how you do it. Or you can just give it to the person over and over again. Now this block is at the exact same height as that thing, so let's move that. Definitely don't want that sort of thing. Always good to keep nice. Always good to keep yourself in a position where there's a lot of variation in everything. Let's see. Set concrete. Nope. Concrete. No autocomplete, evidently. And one more until this thing is ready. Maybe a bit more on this side too. I think that's right. Sometimes it can be hard to tell if things are in line diagonally. But yeah, that works. Now we have a path all the way from the start to whatever that thing is going to be. And it does look alright. Looks alright. Yeah, okay. I think it would probably be better if I didn't have night vision on. Also, right now my eyes are starting to kind of hurt because of all the black and the contrast. Maybe we could have people fail the map due to blindness or headaches. We're playing dirty. We'll pull out any tactic we can to get the players to fail. Nah, that's not what we're doing. We don't want to hospitalize anyone. Let's see. That one, sure, that's a good size. All right, though. We almost have it over here, so that's starting to look good too. I do wonder though. It doesn't look quite as good as I was thinking it would. This whole theme. Maybe it would look better if I didn't have night vision and was playing on it as you would. Maybe another one here. Hopefully that's the case. Yeah, that works. Okay, so... Ooh, missed a spot. So, I think this thing... I don't think that thing should be the end, really. That's what I'm thinking. So, maybe we can have this path spiral down from here over to this thing, and then have another thing over here that's the end. Let's say, right here. How does that look? You couldn't jump from there into that, and you couldn't jump ladder, so I think that's a fairly safe exit, and that should look pretty cool with a nice spirally downwards sort of thing. I'm sort of thinking about removing some of these platforms, though. They're a good guide to where you're supposed to go, of course, but it seems a little saturated. Maybe I should just shrink a couple, because what I don't like is that from over here, from the way you're standing, it all sort of looks like one big path, and if we get rid of some of this white, then we should have the nice white on black contrast sort of thing. But of course, getting rid of the white makes the path even less viable as a path than it already was, and it was already pretty unviable. Maybe let's get rid of this one entirely. So at this point, we're sort of relying completely on bridging. I don't know if that's a good thing or not. Ooh. Fancy idea. Let's take this, or maybe a button. Nah, let's take this, and down below here, we can have a command block that teleports you over to here, and sort of just link up everything with teleport pads. I think that could look pretty neat, and end up working pretty neatly too. Maybe like that. All of these will have a command block under them, of course, and it should teleport you to the correct spot. Yeah, that's pretty good. Interesting. I like that idea. However, I don't like how the command blocks work. So, whoosh. And we have a different texture for them. So, this one looks a lot better with our setup here, and I don't think it'll be too conspicuous. So, I'm going to go through and set up some command blocks that will teleport you to the right place. Okay, I'd be lying if I said that wasn't tedious, but I've gotten them all done. All the ones that we have so far, at any rate. Except I've forgotten one here. So, I guess I'll just show you what I've been doing for the last too long. What I do. What? What? Huh? Huh? How'd I get here? Oh, okay. This is a command block plus NBT, isn't it? Yeah. Okay. That makes sense. Not a command block. Anyway, what I've been doing is this. let's get rid of those deadly, wrongly commanded ones. So I place a pressure plate here, and then I say set block, and I copy that, and then TP at B, and then I put that command into here, and then I go up here, oh, and that happens, and it happens again, and I go up here and I say set block. It's hard to do it quickly. I've managed to do it. I've managed to get to the point where I'm fairly efficient at things, since I had to do so many of them. But we now have a fully functional walking platform system. All the points that connect are fairly self-explanatory. You can see this one, especially that one. Whip, whip. I would sort of like to add a sound effect, but these are on the corner, so by doing so I would add a block like that, and that doesn't look nearly as acceptable as just that. I am glad I swapped the texture though, because it looks so much better than it would have. And this system of teleportation is a really good solution to the problem of lots of void. So, let's see. My only problem with this is that, if you get my drift, but that shouldn't be too much of a problem, I don't think. For example, if there's one guy over here and he's killing mobs, sure, one of the mobs might step on the pressure plate and then he'd teleport over here, but that's not all that likely, since you're probably going to be fighting them in the center of the platform. And also, what was I going to say? There's another fairly decent reason. I can't remember it though. And if you're playing with multiple people though, if something happens and someone's killing mobs over here, it doesn't affect the player that may be over there, because it's not a teleport all players, it's teleport closest player. Sorry, I had something stuck in my nose. Oh, that's not square. Whoops. That's not acceptable. Plop, 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 plop. Is that good? Yeah, okay. So, I have to admit, I do not want to do more of those things. So, I think probably I'll just do the platforms for them. Over down to there and over down to there. And then I won't do the command block things yet, because it's really tedious. And I have gone right ahead and produced some more platforms. So you can see that we now have this nice spirally staircase area down here, and then it spirals all the way down to that finishing spot. And you can't really get to the finishing spot any other way. If you jump off here, you're not going to be in good shape. And if you... well, there really is no other way of doing it, I guess. Well, you could take here and... oh, and you could build out across here and then ladder down, I guess. But only an unscrupulous weasel would do that. Let's see. I just realized that that thing is not quite right. But unfortunately, we're going to have to fix that in a different episode, because that is about all the time I have for today. So, thank you for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed this video, and I shall see you in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.